You know what time it is? Today is day 17 of our OT month challenge. I have all kinds of different prompts related to occupational therapy in my cute little tray here. And for every single day for the month of April, we are diving into a specific topic related to occupational therapy. So before we get started, if you are new here, definitely feel free to comment your answers, stitch this, do whatever you need to do. All of these prompts are going to be linked on my blog if you want to see them all in one place. So let's draw for today's prompt. A small OT win you'll never forget. Aw, that's such a sweet one. A small OT win. I feel like this one, I'm just going to get on my soapbox for a minute. I feel like I forget the small things. I have a tendency to get so caught up in big gains, big progress, that sometimes like the small things are hard to, bring to the forefront of my mind. So this one's a great reminder that a lot of the progress that we see is in the small wins that accumulate over time to become big wins. So the story that I'm thinking of is when I was first getting started in practice, I was in my first school-based OT job. COVID was at its height, and the kids had been in and out of the school all year. It was a mess. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I was suffering really bad from imposter syndrome and just feeling like I was not a good therapist. And every single day I would just come in and be like, how can I make a difference in these kids' lives? I love them so much. I want to help them, but I didn't know what was going on. And I had one particular little fella. He was in a wheelchair, precious little guy, limited verbal skills, but just could light up any room that he was in. And I loved working with him because he had a communication device that he was learning how to use. And so I was supporting his use of that by helping him isolate his index finger to be able to press the buttons. And he was really just not interested in the device. And so that was something the speech therapist was working on, is helping him understand that like he can communicate using the device. But for us, it was like all about the index finger isolation. And it was hard for him. It was something you could tell that was just a barrier for him. And I was getting to the point where I was almost like, this is just not functional anymore because it's not something that he wants to do. So I don't know if we're ever going to do it. Well, I wheeled him into my OT room, and up on the table from another session was a jar of bubbles. And immediately he is like motioning, gesturing towards the bubbles. His face lights up. He has this huge smile, and I can tell that he wants to do bubbles. And when kids have that kind of reaction, especially when we've kind of gone through a rut in terms of progress, I'm like, let's tap into this. So I put aside anything I had planned. We got the bubbles and we just started blowing them back and forth, working on nothing in particular, but definitely just building that rapport. And then all of a sudden, in my OT brain, I thought, index finger isolation. All he has to do is pop the bubble with his index finger, and we can practice that. So I modeled it for him a few times. He was giggling, laughing, had fun, and then all of a sudden, unprompted, I had no hands on him, was not helping facilitate, nothing. He reaches up and pops the bubble. Didn't even realize that he had done it. And that was a really difficult skill for him. I want to reiterate, it was not a behavioral thing. He motorically, he had CP. It was very difficult for him to isolate that index finger, and he did it without even thinking. We did it several more times. He had so much fun. And from then on, I knew exactly how we could practice essentially warming up for that skill. And it was a small win that I still think about all these years later.